and gentlemen, my name is Chris, and this is We Love Comics. Hopefully, you are enjoying your day or about to enjoy your day. It is a beautiful day here in sunny Florida. It is actually about 80 degrees and actually humid out. If I was still living in New York, this would be like a July 31st day. So I cannot complain. I do not miss the snow. I've been now in Florida for over 5 years and will never get, well, I'll get used to it, but it will never not appreciate the fact that it's between the 70s and 80s in December. I'm just blown away by that. We're actually going to be getting a quote unquote cold front later this week. And by Florida standards, a cold front means mid 60s during the day and maybe late 40s, early 50s at night. Perfectly fine with that. Not going to complain. If you have the chance to move down to Florida, I could not recommend it anymore. I mean, it's the only problems I have here. The only two major concerns I have about Florida is one, they allow smoking in bars and stuff. So when I was DJing, it basically sucked inhaling smoke all the day. I have three gripes of Florida. That's one. The second is the traffic lights seem to take like 25 minutes. So if you miss a traffic light, be prepared to pack a small lunch. And the other is I think it's illegal here for people to use their blinkers because almost nobody uses their blinkers, which makes it for a fun ride. But a person living in New York all my life and definitely for a couple of years worked in Manhattan. Very familiar with defensive driving, so it doesn't affect me none. But yeah, those are the only things I can quote unquote complain about. But if you ever have the chance to move to Florida, it's like being on vacation every single day. I absolutely love it. So I see people are starting to show up. So we're going to be doing an EGS unboxing. Unfortunately, the past month or two, I haven't been able to send books to EGS, even though we have a deal with them. And by deal, the owner was kind enough to call me one day and said he would like to allow me to do a fairly similar thing I do with PGX, where he allows me to send in two books a month to get graded, pressed and dry cleaned if needed, signature verification if need be. He allows two of them per month, and I really appreciate that. And the past 2 months, just financially, especially you guys, I'm sure know that around Christmas time, your money goes to everybody else except yourself for the majority of it, and that's fine. So I didn't have enough money to be mailing stuff out. So that is what it is. But I got two comics in here that are books that I sent in a couple of months ago. Uh, the deal is I do not have a contract signed. Same with PGX. I am under no obligation to say anything unless it's my personal experience. They do not stop me from saying anything, or they don't tell me I have to say certain things. So I really appreciate that freedom. Much respect to companies that allow that. That's very rare these days. That means that they're resting on their laurels and not just paying people to say things or avoid saying things. So I appreciate that from both companies. Now, if you ever want to try EGS Comics, they have two deals from for if you give them the code We Love Comics. If you send 10 books into EGX, you can get one of them pressed for free, and you can also get $5 off your first order. Just use the code We Love Comics Free Press, and then also mention both deals to be able to get them. You do have to ask for them, and you do have to mention you came from We Love Comics. Otherwise, you will not get that deal. So it's a benefit for me because I get two comics for the majority of most months, basically for free, other than me having to pay to ship them out. They hopefully get some business and you guys get a discount as well. So give them a try if you haven't. Um, you won't be disappointed. Let's give some shout outs to my Patreon members. I have adjusted this because I mistakenly forgot to put one of the members on because they don't pay via Patreon. They actually send me every month a nice little card and everything. So let's give a shout out. If you want a shout out, like this on every single video, just join my Patreon at patreon.com/we love comics. There is no minimum to get the shout out. I see so many people all over YouTube that have Patreons where you have to, spend a lot of money to get certain things. I don't do that. I offer this as a way for people who want to help support my channel and help me support the 20 to 25 stray cats that I feed every single day, that I take to the vets when necessary, that got spayed and neutered at my own expense, and it's for people that want to help. But as a thank you, I do this shout out every single video. So shout out to Sith, Michael B, James R, Dan L, Herbert R, Annabelle N, Jason B, Kim, who I did forget the past one or two videos, so my apologies for that. And the last two, they're both on Instagram. So if you want me to promote a social network or a YouTube channel instead of just shouting out your name, just let me know at peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com. I have no problem with that. But both of the last two are on Instagram. So check out Scott at ScottWU077. And then last but not least, Silver Age Surfer _comics. If you follow them, leave them a little comment saying that We Love Comics sent you, because I'm sure they appreciate any followers they can get. So again, patreon.com/We Love Comics. If I get up to 20 people on my paid memberships, and again, we're halfway there, I got giveaways that I want to give away. So you could pause that to see all the different levels that I'm giving away. There again is no minimum to join. But you'll get one entry for every $2 you put in. So the more you put in, more chances you'll get during the contest once we get to 20 paid members. Still looking to make my first trade. If you have any of these books or know anybody that has any of these comics, contact me at peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com. Let's make a trade happen. Great way for two parties to not have to spend multiple thousands of dollars on books. Don't have to worry about multiple hundreds of dollars in extra taxes and tax deductible. I don't know about tax deduction, but you don't get charged taxes for trade deals. So if you did trades your entire life instead of working for a company, for example, you'd have non-taxable income. So people complain about the system. You just got to know how to work the system, legally, of course. So let's make a trade happen. I'm not going to give up until it happens one day. So also, you're getting pretty close to the deadline. If you want to order one of my comic book mystery boxes, I just put the link in the live chat. It is also in the description of this or any video that I do. My comic book mystery package has anywhere from a $25 basic package up to a $5,000 platinum package. Each box has 20 comics in it. I cannot guarantee a specific comic. But if you want, for example, all Marvel or all DC, I will try and accommodate as best as I can. Basically, I try and do my best, but almost every time people say they love Amazing Spider-Man, I only have so many Amazing Spider-Man books, so I can't like make all 20 comics Amazing Spider-Man. But I'll do my best to accommodate where I can. So if you order between now and New Year's Eve of 2024, you will automatically get one extra comic in the package without asking. Now, basic package, you're going to get a basic comic for free, and the higher ones, you're going to get a better comic. So in other words, if you're buying a diamond package or a platinum package, which costs thousands of dollars, you're not going to get a dollar bin free comic. I'm going to make sure it's worth your while. So check it out by clicking on the link you see in either the description or the live chat. Once it takes you to it'll say Orgon Pyramids. That is my website. Just scroll down to the bottom until you see the comic book section. You have until the end of this week if you want your package delivered guaranteed before Christmas. And the lines are long, so if you want to buy like the basic package just to make me stand 45 minutes online at the post office, just do it before this Friday. And I send everything priority mail, so it should get there before Christmas. After that, I cannot guarantee it. And the lines are getting long, so go get that for a Christmas present for somebody or a Christmas present for yourself. So with that being said, got enough people in here. GTK Comic, always here. One of my moderators, welcome to see you. Brian Norman says, hey, Chris, watching from work as usual. You got to tell us what you do one day. Hopefully you're not a airline pilot or a security guard, but I guess we'll find out eventually. Lee Smith, one of my favorite Cardinal closers. And Pino, good to see you. So let's put on the video camera and got our box right here. I do not know the grades. I love finding out live with you. I will tell you any significance of the book, if any. I will tell you the price I paid for the books, which seems to be a rare thing on YouTube in the comic book community. Most people are just, most of the time, they're afraid to share prices. There are some people that say it's none of anybody's business, and that's perfectly fine, and I could respect that. But I'm sure there are many people, because to me, it always irks me when somebody says, "Oh, I got this comic and I got such a great deal," and then they don't bother to tell you what that great deal is. So, how do you know it's a great deal? Because just because they said so? Well, it is what it is. All right, so they put a bunch of cardboard in there. If you're like me and sell comics, you'll definitely save those. As a matter of fact, I have two people that completed their auction purchases actually as of last night. So I will be mailing out both of their comics. So if you ever order from my auctions, or like, for example, the mystery boxes, as soon as I have confirmation of payment, I send out the packages within 24 business hours. So, of course, if I get the payment on a Saturday night, I can't do anything until Monday, but you know what I mean. So, two people are going to be having their comics mailed out today. One of them is a Holy Grail comic. I'm not going to say what it is because if the person does a unboxing video, I want to make sure people go there not knowing what it is. One of my moderators, who's not here at the moment, is one of the people, and he's bought from me several times. If you've been watching my channel, you'll probably know who it is, but he's going to be doing a live unboxing when he gets his as well. So, GTK Comic says, no mysteries about my profession, Chris. I am morbidly obese, make prostitute who services rich women only. Hey, whatever works. I get paid by the pound. I also sell comics on eBay. Well, that is a choice. So if anybody out there wants to use his illegal services that he just put in print on the internet, go check him out on that one, or maybe just go and be safer on his eBay store and check out what he has to sell. But that was probably your most interesting comment you've ever left. All right, so with that being said, I got the two books here. They did package them well. They put, like you saw, those extra pieces of cardboard as I almost dropped the knife on my foot. Luckily, almost. They have this taped with bubble wrap. So I want to try and make sure. Okay, which I can't see the grades, but I want to make sure I'm looking at the side with the back. Now, they don't add grader's notes to the back of the slab like PGX does, which was my idea, but they do include like a little 3x5, well, actually probably more like a 5x7 index card that they put in the back of the slab, not in the slab itself, but in the bag and board behind the slab that gives you the grader's notes. So that is good. I hope one day they decide to use the grader's notes and put them on the back of the slab because it just makes it, I mean, you could lose these or anything. So, well, they could forget to put them in, which they haven't done. But let's see what books these are. So I want to cover the grade. Okay, so this is Excalibur. This is the first appearance of Excalibur. This is a book I've been highly recommending for a long time. There is a no price newsstand variant. If you can find that in high grade, it's worth taking the chance on because you never know. I mean, they are going to be, as far as I know, and anything can change until it happens on screen. But they are bringing potentially Captain Britain to the MCU at some point. Who knows? Because there are, once they get the X-Men characters, who knows if they branch out and do things like Alpha Flight or Excalibur. And the idea is to buy these books when they're cheap. So if it happens, you can make a poop ton of profit. And if it doesn't happen, you didn't have to sell your house to acquire them. So most people buy things when everybody's talking about them, when there's already a promotion or a trailer or an announcement, and that's when you're paying 10 times more than you should have the day before. So I'm trying to convince people, especially with books that are low risk as far as how much money you have to spend. I mean, I would recommend buying these raw, which is what I've done. I mean, I've literally got probably about 15 copies of this book, but as you can see, there's some scribble on it. This has been signed by two people, which I will go over. I paid, now this is a dual signed book. Um, I paid, get this, a grand total of $15 for this book. I predicted between about a 9.4 to a 9.8. Now, this is a very thick book, so it's got like a cardboard stock. So if somebody opened it and read it a bunch of times, you could end up getting color breaking creases along here. The back of the book, I'm trying to do it without revealing the grade, is almost all black in color. So that's going to show a lot of any spinal ticks if there are. But in my opinion, this is definitely a book worth getting. I loved reading these books when I was a teenager because when I went to Stonianta, and if you know what that's all about, put that in the comment section. I had three subscriptions that I had to Marvel. One was Thor, the other was Punisher War Journal, and the third was Excalibur. Alan Davis's artwork I thought was very interesting. The stories were great, and I was reading this for a while. Never got this one when I was younger, but this is definitely a book I highly recommend. Again, first appearance of Excalibur. Who knows if they'll ever be used in the MCU, but if they do, you know what's going to happen to prices of these books. And for $15 dual signed, to me, that's a no-brainer to take the chance on, because if it never happens, I mean, I didn't break the bank. So I predicted between a 9.4 and a 9.8 off white to white pages. Survey says, and there we go, 9.8 with white pages. So what did I say? I said off white to white. Now this was they did mention that first appearance of Excalibur, signed by Chris Claremont and Alan Davis. So they do signature verification at EGS. They also do pressings and dry cleanings. Looks like this. Don't waste your money, no matter who you get them graded with pressings. Because again, with cardboard stock, if there's a bend, it's going to break color. So pressing's not going to help it other than maybe make it look nice. But if it's not going to increase the grade, why would you spend the money to get a book like that pressed? But you could see along this spine, I mean, this book was beautiful. Not one spine tick. And again, this is a very thick book. It's almost like graphic novel size. And with a cardboard stock, this could easily get bent. But when I saw this one, I knew it had potential. And even though if I think a book might come back a 9.8, I never say it's a 9.8. I'll always say between 9.4 and a 9.8 because you never know. I mean, it could be gorgeous, and then when you mail it, a postal worker throws it across the room and it damages the comic. So there are no guarantees. So that to me is amazing. So I have a 9.8 first appearance of Excalibur, dual signed by Chris Claremont and Alan Davis at a 9.8 with white pages for $15. This is why I tell people deals are always out there. I mean, you think I can't sell that for 50, 60, 70, $80, maybe more? I can easily quadruple my money. Now, of course, I'm not going to go to college with that, and I wouldn't do it anyway if I sold it. I'm too old for that at this point. But my point is, you can turn around and use that money to buy something better. I keep saying, like I said in the video yesterday, not many people saw it. I hope you will watch it. That you keep upgrading and upgrading slowly and slowly, buying deal after deal, selling at reasonable prices, and you can keep upgrading without having to spend extra money. So, very happy with that one. And EGS, in my experience so far, is pretty strict on their grades. So let me see actually if there's any graders notes. It says corner scuff top and bottom left corner front. So remember, 9.8, you can have some minor damage. Oh, it's a corner front. I mean, Barely. I mean, if that's the like the tip, the very tip. I mean, look at that. And the same thing on the bottom. So yeah, you can get 9.8s even with, and it's like so minor you can't even see it. So there you go. Again, for 15 bucks, even if it was a 9.4, I'd still be happy. All right, so the last one I would believe is Hulk 377. This is a Mark Jewelers variant. This is just the regular first print. I had one of these when I was a kid, but this again, Mark Jewelers variant, first appearance of Professor Hulk. Now, of course, that was already shown in the Avengers Endgame, but now still first appearance of a character that was used. Um, Mark Jewelers variant is about between 5 and 7% of a total print run. I paid a grand total of $22.47 for this one. Now, I did a wider variety range of a grade because this one had a bunch of non-color breaking creases. And I haven't worked with EGS long enough to know how good their pressings are. And also, when it comes to any book that has multiple pressable defects, I give a little bit of a wider range of what the grade normally would be. Because normally I'll say something's like between an 8 and a 9, 3.5 to a 4.5. I usually do one grade. But this one I said it could be anywhere from an 8.5 up to a 9.6 with off-white to white pages. Because again, the majority of the problems with this book were non-color break increases. So let's see what we got. And again, this is a Mark Jewelers variant. We're going to make sure it is marked as such. So the grade is, I had a 5.0. Okay. So I was definitely off on that one. Boy. All right, let's make sure. Okay, so they did mark that it is a Mark Jewelers. Newsstand edition, Mark Jewelers. First appearance of Professor Hulk, so they did do that. And they also, ladies and gentlemen, they have custom labels. Now, I, with any company, don't like custom labels. That's just my own personal preference. The reason I have them do one of the books with a custom label is me showing these off isn't about what I like and don't like. It might be something you like. So if you want to add a custom label, as you can see, they have, the green color for the Hulk, and there's a little image of the Hulk right there in the center. I do that so this way you guys can see it. So if you like it, you can end up using that if you use their service. So let's see what the graders notes are. Corner scuff, top and bottom, left corner front, spine stress, lines front and back cover. 6-inch stress at the top back cover. Okay. Multiple other stress lines on the back cover, crease bottom, corner back cover. Hey, it is what it is. I'm one of those people, I don't get upset, so this one I was definitely off. I don't remember those creases like that. It could have been damaged in the mail, or was I that stupid to miss it? Possible. But for me to say something's a 9.6, I mean, like I said, a lot of times, because when I mail my stuff to EGS, I use like one of these. I don't put them in big boxes because, I don't have like $1,000 comics that I'm sending. So it could have got damaged in the mail for it to be that difference of a grade. But hey, you know what? It's accurate with that color crease and stuff. I could see it as a 5.0. So probably got damaged in the mail because there would be no way if I'm going to say something's a 9.6 that I would miss that crease. And there's no way they could have done that because that looks like, you know, something that could have potentially got damaged in the mail. And that's why I say, nothing's guaranteed because sometimes the post office, I mean, I watch it every time I mail a package out. And that's why I always write, do not crush, do not bend all over the boxes. because I've seen, people have this big box and the postal worker will take it and just throw it into the bin. But it is what it is. Again, I paid $22.47 for this book. So under $25, even at a 5.0 for a Mark Jewelers variant, I am absolutely not going to complain. So this one's a little bit lower than I expected. It happens. And this one ended up being what I thought it would be. And this absolutely makes up for anything. But again, for the prices I paid for these, going to make good deals regardless. I am obsessed with Mark Jewelers variants. Anytime I could see one that's a key issue. And again, this isn't a major key, especially like I said, Professor Hulk has already been in the MCU, but it's still a first appearance of a character that was known enough to be putting in the movies. So it does have minor significance. I would say it's probably a C character at best. But for me to get it in a Mark Julius variant just makes it a rarer book. So I'm still happy with a 5.0 for the price I paid. Let me know what you would have paid for that book if you knew it would come back a 5. Do you think paying $22.47 for that book would be warranted? But I'd love to hear your opinion. And Nitro says it best. Like I say, low grade is better than no grade. Um, for those of you who may or may not know, I was actually the person that coined that phrase. But, as usual on the internet, I don't get credit for things I've done. Like, for example, I was the first one to ever do YouTube comic book auctions. It was so far back, and people that were there can attest to it. Like, for example, Mr. White Gloves, if he ever sees this, he can attest to it because he was there. Um, we used to have it where people would have to email their bid because we didn't really know how it was going to work at that time. So we had people had to email their bid. We would read the emails, wait for the emails, and then go back and forth. But yeah, so I love that phrase, and there are people who use it. Some people that quote unquote don't like me, and they don't. I'll never get the credit, but I don't care. But it is what it is. But let's do today's surprise subscriber shout outs. Nitro, since you quoted that, let's give you the first, and we're going to go with Lee Smith. Second, for the surprise subscriber shout outs. You guys have been here long enough to know what those entail. So let's give our shout outs a shout out by leaving a message for them in the comments section. Let me know what you thought about the AI art. I just thought I'd do something a little different today. Join my Patreon at patreon.com/we love comics. It does help support my channel. And also, like I said, the stray cats that I take care of, you'll get your name up here regardless of the amount. You don't have to buy your way on there by saying, oh, you need $50 a month to be able to get your name up. I mean, I would never do that even if I had 1 million subscribers, but to each their own. Each person does their channel their own way, so there is no technical wrong way, even if I don't agree with it. So if you want your name up there, join patreon.com/we love comics. And again, if you want me to shout out your YouTube channel or social network or something like that instead of just your name, let me know ahead of time. I have no problem with doing that. And that's for the contest. If we can get 20 paid members in a month, and then I'm looking to get some trades. So let's see if we can make that happen. So thanks for watching. Would love to hear your opinions. Thank you to everybody that joined the live chat. I'm going to go get ready to pack up the 2 comics that my auction winners paid off yesterday. I'm going to mail them out priority mail. And hopefully they'll do some unboxing videos. And if they do, I will share the link on my channel. Go support them. Go check out what they got. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And don't forget, it's not you, it is not I. It is We Love Comics. I hope you have a great